Hey there, friends. Welcome back to another episode of Monday Runday. Got my sidekick here. So we are gonna...
Excuse me? You are the sidekick?
I'm the sidekick. So we are gonna talk about, just briefly, the revamping of our running goals for 2018. Originally, we had a couple of long races planned. One on the 27th of January, but we're not going to that one because there's a resource fair that I can attend to kind of get some business for the law firm. So, yeah, I guess because the Houston Marathon was kind of brutal for both of us for different reasons. I think better shoes, I would have done better, but the time is what it is. I didn't care. So we kind of were talking about going back to some basics, like how we started. When we first started out, we had just started dating, and he was a runner, but he wanted me to be a runner, and I no guilt about this. I was like, if I'm gonna run, I want to get medals. So I was like, let's just ramp up. So we signed up for the Young Lawyers Association 5K in August. Then we did a 10K, and then we did our first half marathon the following year in 2014 at the Woodlands half marathon. And we sort of ramped up, and then we did a bunch of half marathons that year. In fact, we did a half marathon series out of Dallas, Melu. That was fun. And then we ran our first marathon in 2015 at the Houston Marathon. So we kind of we worked our way up to it. So we've been out of running for a couple of years. And
Actually went up and did some ultras, or I did.
Yeah.
You crapped out on both of them.
I wasn't able to finish them. And I was in school at the time, and I didn't have the same amount of time to train.
Your excuses.
It
Continue with the talk, woman.
That is the talk. I was in school, and it was what it was. So we may be ramping up our distance too quickly, considering our base. I mean, I've been doing consistent runs, and he's sort of getting back into it. But my idea is let's just do a bunch of half marathons. And that's what I was thinking would be fun. Half marathons are fun because you get up on a Saturday, you're home by lunch. Worst case scenario.
The problem is in Houston, they don't have many of them. And the ones they do are in the really ritzy parts of town, so the next one is coming up here in a few weeks, and even if you had done it in their early blast or whatever last year, it's over $100 for a half marathon. All those ones we did in Dallas were $50 each.
Yeah, it's when we got the benefit because we signed up for all of them.
Yeah, and now, honestly, it said for life you can get them at 50 now. If we ever chose to go back.
Oh, nice.
It was a deal with that thing, so.
And that's nice, but then you got to go to Dallas. That's a hotel. It's gas. It's food.
Well, yeah, it's nice to get out of town every once in a while, but.
It is.
My point is, you got to find the ones around here to do, and there's not a whole lot in Houston. There's a bunch of ultras. There's 2 companies that do ultras around here, but I mean, going out there, it's the same problem. They're not close enough to just drive there in the morning because they start so damn early.
Right.
But there are several. There's a bunch of 10-mile races around town. Again, they're all just expensive.
Yeah,
But the point is, I want to do a few of those. I need to find new gear, as it were. I think I found another candidate for new shoes. I'm going to order those today or tomorrow or whenever, because nobody in Houston has any shoes anymore since they closed all the damn running stores.
Yeah, the running stores that would let you try shoes for a little bit and bring them back, they're gone.
Even so, they all have the same ones, and I've tried them all. But I need that. I need new shirts that don't chafe my underarms, basically. I need socks. My shorts are fine, but I don't have that many of them. I need compression shorts so that my nether regions doesn't chafe. I've had a hard time finding any of these that aren't really expensive and suck anyway. So that's my problem. I know you don't care as much or have better luck with gear.
My clothes aren't a problem, and shoes never used to be a problem. Like when we were running, he would always have all these issues, and I was happy. I
almost needs to dust this couch. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you go right ahead. The cats use it when I'm working. This is the front of my office. But no, I never had those issues. at all. Once I stopped wearing the high-heeled tennis shoes and went to the flatter ones and got better on my I was just a terrible heel striker at the beginning, and that always caused me problems. But no, clothes were never an issue for me, and then shoes were not an issue. So when we came back to running, I had all these pairs of shoes that I hadn't worn out, and I thought they'd be perfect. And my toes are like this, and I'm getting blisters. At one point, I had a triple blister. It was horrible. So hopefully, if the Prias are amazing, I'll forgive their customer service. But if they're not great, they're going back. I want a company that's responsive, and I don't want to buy a bunch of. That's the thing. I want to get simple about it. I just want it to be easy, easy to wear, easy to go out. You know, we even make our own gel. Like, we don't spend the money on goo. We have a freezer full of fructose. So.
It's not fructose. It's maltodextrin.
Sorry, maltodextrin. You have some fructose in there.
I do, but I've never used it. I'm too scared. The only time I use it is when I'm going for a race, and I'm scared to use it in a race the first time. So that'll be another thing to work on this summer.
Yeah.
But that's another topic for another video.
It is.
How to make your own fuel.
Yeah, that'd be a really great video. Alright, so that's kind of where we are. The other, just really quickly, is I said let's do 1/2 marathon a month. And that way it kind of keeps you aware of, I don't want to suck at that race, or I could do better, just a little bit of motivation. But then he's like, but those are boring.
That's not what I meant.
Oh.
They're not a challenge. Like, I could go out and run a half marathon every weekend and not, it would get easy.
Mm-hmm.
Like when we were doing it before, it was fun,
mm-hmm.
but it was really just go out there and go do it because something to do.
I remember that.
It's like a marathon and ultra marathons, it's like you gotta try.
Mm-hmm. Well, then
I'm sorry, I know people are just getting started and have trouble, but
yeah,
most people, even a marathon, most people can slog their way through it, but a half marathon, there were people, I finished before half marathoners the other day, and they were big.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to rant about that in the other video, didn't I?
So, anyway, it's...
all the half marathon walkers were in Corral D, and I spent the first 6 miles having to stop really quickly and go around them. Why would you sign up for a half marathon if you're going to walk it?
Getting sidetracked.
I am getting sidetracked, but that was in the previous video and I forgot to talk about it. But that was another frustration that I forgot about because the rest of the race was terrible. But anyway, the other idea would be to run a marathon a month. And honestly, even though I had a hard time with the Houston Marathon, I was physically and mentally ready for it. The shoes were the problem.
We did that before too. I don't remember, I'll have to look in the book, but this was, I don't know if it's our 10th, but it's getting up to the double digits marathon.
We're on different numbers of marathons because toward the end of our running, I had to drop down. I couldn't do all those distances.
But, it's, eventually it doesn't get easy, you just get used to it, which I think is what happened with the half marathons. Even not training, I went out and was 5 minutes slower than I used to be at the half. And that's how I somehow backwards qualified for Corral A.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is, had the Houston Marathon gone better for me, the shoe issue, at 2 or 3 points early in the race, I was on target for a 5:17 finish. My first marathon, the Houston Marathon 2015, was a 5:16. So there's not that much difference, even though I feel less in shape. The time doesn't change. The time didn't change for me.
Yeah, and even after not running the whole time, I was tore up after those first even 3 or 4 marathons. This one, I stood around for 2 hours, or 2 or 3 hours, however long it was, waiting for her to finish. And I stood the whole time, except for I went and got like a muffin or something, whatever they had that was vegan. But
yeah, so that's a good place. It's got to be fun. It's got to be a challenge, and it's got to help you stay in shape. Like what we were doing before, where we were running every weekend, sometimes back to back. That was stressful. It was fun, but it was stressful. So
yeah. But
if you have any thoughts, let us know.
That was when I was running 10 miles a day, 4 days a week.
Yeah.
And then doing those races on the weekend.
Yeah.
And about 20 pounds lighter.
Yeah, me too. Don't.
I didn't say anything.
Alright, guys. Well, let us know what you think. If you have any thoughts or ideas or similar problems, we will we'd be interested to know, and we will see you in the next video.